Okay guys, so today's an interesting topic. The topic today is how to order wine at a restaurant. So you feel like you're in control, you understand what you're doing. Pretty sure it's a pretty fair fear to have. Going to a restaurant and feeling like you're uncultured or you have no clue what the hell you're doing there. They hand you the wine list and it just looks like a maze of weird fucking words and you don't understand what the hell's going on. But if you've been following my videos, now you understand wine regions. And if you've been a good student, been out there, you've been drinking, and you've been tasting your Barossa Valleys, you've been tasting your oranges, you've been tasting your McLaren Vales, your Hunter Valley Semillon. You've been out there experimenting and finding what you actually like. Okay, and when you go out, you also have the mentality that price should no longer matter. Of course, to a certain degree, it does. But you're going out there to enjoy yourself. You understand you're going to get ripped off buying wine at a restaurant. They have their markups of like 300%. But you understand that. You're out there because it's a special event. Your wife's birthday, an anniversary, a first date with a beautiful girl. Trying to get to know your future father-in-law better. Trying to really like impress your best friend or someone's gone through something very, very tough in life. Going out is a good thing. We can't do it at the moment, but understand that in the future it's good to go out and support the local restaurants. Alright, buy the wine and really enjoy your night. So you sit down and now you're looking at the wine list and finally you're confident in saying, I like Barossa Valley's Shiraz. But before we can even identify what wine we're going to drink, you have to understand what restaurant you're going to. We don't just get up and like, we're going to go get food. And you just close your eyes, pick a spot, and you just go there. No one does that. We know what we like. Okay, whether that be Thai food, Chinese food, Japanese food, Italian food, Lebanese food, Portuguese food, Croatian food, Maltese food, it doesn't matter. There's 100 different restaurants out there. Go to whatever you personally like. Alright, for today's example, I'm going to say I'm going to go to an Italian restaurant. Pretty safe bet. People love Italian food. And I know immediately exactly what I want to order. I always know what I want to order. It's simple. Okay, I want stuffed zucchini flowers with risotto. I want my margherita pizza. And I want like a nice roasted meat dish like osso buco. I love that shit. That's my jam. I know what I'm about. So, on my way there, I'm starting to identify what is it about stuffed zucchini flowers with risotto in them that I really enjoy. Alright, they're crunchy, they're oily, alright, so good amount of fat content. Creamy, that's nice. Lots of cheese, the starches in there have congealed and they've emulsified and given a really like big mouthfeel. Every time I eat it, it's going to coat my palate quite significantly. What's going to aid me with that? I can't go with red wine. Red wine won't balance it. It'll just be fat and then it will just slide on top of the fat and then be like a mess in my mouth. And then the tannins can't really present themselves because your tongue's being protected by too much of this cream and starch. What you would need is a white wine, obviously. So let's move on to white wines. Alright, what white wines have any of these characteristics where they have the capacity to clean my tongue significantly enough? Should I go with a Chardonnay? No, that's creamy and oaky. Alright, should I go with a Semillon? Perhaps a young Semillon, but that's so super acidic. That would possibly clean my palate. I want something colder and more refreshing. I don't want a complex white. A Sauvignon Blanc, perhaps? No. What's ideal is a bubbles. You know what? Some Prosecco would kick some absolute ass by cleaning up the palate, having that nice sharpness of acidity. Those bubbles will physically pop on your tongue and just explode all that starch off. It's a perfect combination. Fantastic. We just decided what our first one is. Well done. Alright. Second round is going to be pizza with tomato sauce and cheese. Pizza with tomato sauce and cheese. Alright, I understand there's going to be a certain amount of acidity and sweetness that's involved with my tomato sauce. My mozzarella, my parmigiano, it's going to be salty and quite savory and quite fatty and oily, and I'm going to get that beautiful, deep, nice, toasty crust on the bottom of it. So rich and toasty, alright, oily, sweet and acidic. Now, you have a choice here. Would I suggest a red wine or a white wine with this? Go through and remember the tastes or the characteristics of some of these fantastic wines. And I think, personally, a Pinot Noir would be fantastic with this. Okay, that light fruitiness, that hint of sweetness, not too much impact on the palate. Alright? Quite light. It can balance and hold up to that tomato. It has the capacity to deal with the fats as well, because it's not too impactful, not too much tannin. It's a light, easy drinking wine. Maybe a rosé would work very, very well with that. Okay? Take your pick, or you can even continue to keep going with your Prosecco, because that would just continue to clean up your palate, and it would save you having to go and order different types of wine. If you know exactly that you love your Prosecco, stick with it. And then it comes down to my ossobuco. Big, fatty meat with maybe some semolina underneath it, and a huge tomato sauce that's been braising for hours and hours. Okay, that is going to have a lot more gaminess or impact on the palate than if it was just a steak or a bolognese sauce. So I think that because of the gaminess and the nature of it, then a cold climate Shiraz would be ideal with that. And so you order your cold climate Shiraz with that. It's pretty simple. It goes through your mind, and you can justify it one step at a time, till eventually you get the maximum pleasure out of your dining experience. Let's move on to defects in wine. So there are three major defects with red wine, and if you identify them, you tell your waiter, and he'll go and fetch you another glass or another bottle. First defect in red wine is something called corking. Corking is a defect inside the wine where it smells like acid and wet cardboard. Go, wet some cardboard, put it to your nose and see how nasty it smells. Immediately you'll be able to smell it on point. The second one is over-aging, and that is the concept that is no longer within its comfortable drinking period, and it just tastes bland and just one-dimensional. It's beyond its use by date. Simple as that. It's kind of upsetting, because you'd associate age with quality. Lastly, you get something like this, where it's going to be confusing as hell to you, because you can see when a wine's past its age, because it's cloudy, it's brown, okay, brown and cloudy, and it smells like prunes, stewed prunes on the palate. And then you get something like this where it looks great. I'm going to zoom in just to show you off how nice it looks. That's a beautiful looking wine, but it's far from beautiful. All right, this is cooked wine, and it is the number one problem in Australia. Smells good, great look, but if I taste that, it's acid, pure acid, because it's been cooked and all the complexities in the wine have gone away, and all that's left behind is the sugar being fermented out and oxidization happening and a whole bunch of nasty crap happening. And basically all I'm left with is vinegar. And that's the one that you have to be careful of all the time. And if you can identify it at a restaurant, you tell them to taste it, watch them spit it out onto the floor, and they'll get you another bottle. White wine is a bit easier to identify, because when white wine goes, it really goes. Okay, this is a Chardonnay that has been aging for way too long. It's oxidized, and it's gone weird and brown and funky. See it? Immediately you can tell there's something wrong there, can't you? It doesn't take a genius. Now on the nose, it smells like rotten fruit. Yeah, rotten fruit and port. Yeah, keep in mind that porty smell. It's over fermentation. It's just gone. We'll see you later. They're what you're looking for. Okay. That's all there is to it. Look for your defects, look for your counterbalances, understand what you're buying, understand what restaurant you're going to. If there's any questions, please, I beg you, something in the comment section and I'm happy to help you out. Okay, drink up, study, and go. And once they open up the borders, God willing, travel, eat fine food and drink fine wine.